Everyone knew Jake for his crazy videos. On his channel on YouTube, he always tried wild challenges that most people were too scared to do. One evening he posted a short message for his fans. He said he was planning his biggest challenge yet, spending 24 hours inside the most haunted hotel in the city. The building was old and almost forgotten. Years ago, it used to be a beautiful hotel full of guests and music. But after many strange stories and accidents, people slowly stopped coming. Soon the hotel was closed and it stayed empty for many years. Locals believed the place was cursed. Many people said they saw shadows moving in the windows at night. Some even claimed they heard footsteps and whispers in the halls. Jake had heard these stories many times. Instead of feeling scared, he felt excited. He believed the stories were only rumors. To him, it sounded like the perfect challenge. His friends did not feel the same way. When Jake told them about the plan, they tried to stop him. One friend told him that many people had gone inside before and came out terrified. Another friend warned him that strange things happened there after midnight. But Jake only laughed. He said the stories were just made up to scare people. He wanted to prove that the hotel was empty and that there was nothing supernatural inside. So he packed his cameras, lights, food, and a sleeping bag. That night, he drove toward the dark, silent hotel, ready to start the challenge that would soon change everything. Night had already fallen when Jake arrived at the old hotel. The building stood in silence at the end of an empty street. The windows were broken and the walls looked dark and worn. The wind moved through the trees, making the place feel even more lonely. Jake parked his car and stepped out with his camera bag. He looked at the tall building and smiled at the camera. For him, this was just another challenge. He turned on his camera and told his viewers that he was about to spend the next 24 hours inside the haunted hotel. The main door was half open. When Jake pushed it, the door made a long creaking sound. Inside, the air felt cold and dusty. The lobby was dark, with old furniture covered in dirt. A broken chandelier hung from the ceiling, slowly moving as the wind came through the cracked windows. Jake walked slowly through the lobby while holding the camera in front of him. His footsteps echoed in the empty hall. At first, everything seemed normal. There were no ghosts, no strange shadows, nothing scary at all. He laughed and said to the camera that the stories were probably fake. According to him, the hotel was just an old building that people used to scare others. Jake chose a small room on the second floor as his base for the night. He placed his cameras around the hallway and inside the room to record everything. Then he sat down, waiting for something interesting to happen. But as the night grew darker and quieter, Jake slowly started to feel that the hotel was not as empty as he first thought. By the time the clock moved closer to midnight, the hotel felt very different. The quiet inside the building had become heavy. Jake was sitting in the small room he had chosen earlier, checking his cameras and talking to his viewers. At first, everything had been calm. But now strange sounds started to appear. It began with a soft noise from the hallway. It sounded like slow footsteps moving across the wooden floor. Jake stopped talking and listened carefully. The sound lasted only a few seconds and then it disappeared. Jake picked up his camera and slowly opened the door of the room. The hallway outside was dark and empty. His flashlight moved across the long corridor, showing broken doors and dusty walls. There was no one there. He laughed nervously and told the camera it was probably just the wind moving through the building. Jake walked down the hallway to check his other cameras. While reviewing the recording on one of them, he noticed something strange. A door at the end of the corridor had moved slightly. He was sure that door had been closed before. He slowly walked toward it. The hallway felt colder with every step. Just as he reached the door, it moved again with a slow creaking sound. Jake quickly opened it and pointed the flashlight inside. The room was completely empty. No people. No animals. Nothing. Jake stood there for a moment trying to stay calm. He told his viewers that old buildings often make strange sounds at night. But deep inside, Jake started to feel something he had not expected when he began the challenge. For the first time that night, he felt a small wave of fear that as the clock struck 3 a.m., the hotel grew colder and darker. Jake sat in the corner of his room trying to calm himself. He thought the strange sounds earlier were just the old building settling, but now even he wasn't so sure. Suddenly, a loud bang echoed from the hallway outside. It was so loud that Jake jumped and almost dropped his camera. He grabbed the flashlight and rushed toward the noise. The hallway was empty, but his camera caught something unusual, a shadow moving quickly across the wall. Jake froze. He told the camera, "Okay, this is definitely not normal." His heart was beating fast. The shadow disappeared as suddenly as it appeared, but Jake felt that someone, or something, was watching him. He carefully checked the rooms on that floor, shining his flashlight into every corner. All of them were empty. The old furniture sat silently, and the broken windows let in only the cold night air. Yet, the feeling of being followed did not leave him. Jake returned to his room and tried to record the rest of the night. Every small sound, creaking floors, whispers of wind, and doors moving slightly, felt amplified. His viewers could see on the live feed how tense he was becoming. For the first time in his career, Jake realized that the challenge he thought would be easy might not be just a simple 24-hour stunt. Something inside the hotel was not what it seemed, and the rest of the night promised even more surprises. The 3 a.m. moment had changed everything. What started as a fun challenge had turned into a night that Jake, and his viewers, would never forget. Morning finally came, and the first light of dawn filled the haunted hotel with a pale glow. Jake was exhausted, but he had completed the 24-hour challenge. Nothing else had happened after the 3 a.m. incident, but the fear and tension of the night were still fresh in his mind. He packed up his cameras and walked out of the hotel, feeling a mix of relief and excitement. The building looked calm in the daylight, just an old abandoned hotel, but Jake knew that the night had been unforgettable. Back home, Jake started editing the footage. Every shadow, every sound, every moment of fear was carefully included. He added his commentary describing how he felt at 3 a.m. when the shadow moved across the hallway. When he uploaded the video on YouTube, it immediately started to attract attention. People were amazed by the footage and debated whether it was real or staged. Some said they could clearly see the shadow move. Others said it was just a trick of the light. The video went viral within hours. Millions of views poured in, and Jake's channel gained thousands of new subscribers. Comments flooded in from fans praising him for bravery, while others shared their own scary stories about haunted places. Jake realized that this challenge had not only tested his courage but also created one of the most successful videos of his career. The haunted hotel, the strange sounds, and the 3 a.m. shadow had captured the curiosity and fear of viewers around the world. From that day, Jake became known as the YouTuber who dared to face the unknown, and millions watched every new video he posted, wondering what he would do next.